vacation season and garden season often overlap. So what can you do as a home gardener to keep your garden in good shape while you're gone? Well, there are a few things you can do. First of all, prep your things ahead of time. Make sure your mulch is in place. That will help preserve water so that if you don't have someone coming in to take care of some of these garden chores for you, that your garden should be able to withstand a week or so on its own. To do that, water deeply the night before or the morning that you're leaving, and take a check on the weather apps. See what it's saying. Are you in for any heat waves, high heat, anything like that that's really going to tax your garden? If you're just having a normally warm summer week, watering thoroughly before you go and being gone for a week shouldn't be a problem for a well-maintained garden and, you know, plants that have good roots. Hopefully the whole time you've been watering deeply, often, say a couple of times a week, instead of just shallowly every day. That actually gets your roots growing down further into the ground so that they have access to more moisture and nutrients down there. Something else you can do before you go, make sure you're picking off anything that's ready, and also pick off the things that are kind of just getting there, that are almost ready. What you don't want to happen is have your garden shut down on you while you're gone. And if you're not harvesting certain types of plants regularly, well, then that's going to send a signal to the plant to stop trying to produce, because it doesn't need, you know, the point of plants is to produce seed and reproduce. So once they think they've done that, and that's done through mature fruiting bodies that turn into seed, your plants will start to shut down. So go around your garden, pick it off heavily, put it in the refrigerator. Most of that stuff is going to last a week. If not, if you just don't have time to deal with it, it's still worth harvesting. Give it away to friends, families, donate it, give it to a neighbor, make somebody's day. But you're better off in the long run taking those things now instead of leaving them there and making them start to shut your plants down. And that goes for herbs too. You can see here we've got some thyme that's starting to go to flower. This is something that I would clip back and get rid of those flowers before I go. Unless you just don't care whether or not it goes to flower and how well it produces when you come back. That's a decision for you, but most of us are growing things because we want to use them. So, you know, lots of things you can do there for gardens, whether it's in raised beds or in the grounds. Now, container gardens, those might need a little extra TLC because they dry out so quickly. So if you have things in pots and containers, you're going to want to do something to help them slow down their evaporation rate and get more moisture, because they do need more than what you're likely to get from the rain. So if you are kind of relying on the rain, make sure you get those out from under eaves and overhangs so that they can actually get watered. But a better idea would be to move those containers just for the week or so that you're gone, move them into the shade where they will evaporate less. The moisture that they do have will stay there longer. And you can also do things like put them in a kiddie pool and then kind of let them self-water. So the idea there would be kind of a bottom watering situation. So, you know, you don't want the plants floating in there where they're going to tip over and have a problem, but go ahead and put them in a kiddie pool with 1 inch to 3 inches of water, depending on how many you have in there, how heavy the pots are, that kind of thing. And then they can slowly take up water. You can also do things like use those globe style spike watering things. Usually most container plants, as far as vegetables and flowers outside, are on the larger side, so you'll probably need 3 or a really large oversized one. Weed before you go, and when you get back onto all those garden chores as soon as you can when you get back. If you're growing on trellises, you want to take, if you're doing vining plants, clip them up before you go. If you've got tomatoes, see, I've got mine here in cages. So what I would do with these tomatoes before I take off is just kind of direct them so that this growth can go up into the rings, because, you know, by the time you get back, a week can make a big difference. That can be a pretty firm stalk, and what you don't want to do is break it off. If you're pruning the plants, go ahead and prune those before you go. You know, again, a week makes a big difference in the life of a plant that only lives for 90 days or so. So what you don't want to do is come back to a situation where you can't get that tied up or trained back or bent to where it needs to be. You don't want those suckers getting so large that when you do take them off, you shouldn't need nippers for that. You should be able to just pinch that off with your fingers, and if you can't, then you're probably creating a larger wound than that plant should have, which invites disease and is a point to lose moisture. So there you have it. There's a lot that you can do, and your garden can take care of itself pretty steadily for a week or so. Any longer than that, you probably want to find a friend or family or neighbor or somebody, or even if you have to hire a service or a teenager, have someone come in, give them the down run ahead of time so that they know what your garden needs, and you can be in good shape when you get back. And have a great vacation.